Today I'm starting a new series where I ask 5 key questions to YouTubers and athletes. We're starting off with my mate Matt in America. He's a fellow YouTuber, and if anyone likes to run, he does. Let's roll his intro.
Alright Chris, thank you so much for having me on your channel. I really appreciate it. All Chris's viewers, my name is Matt and I am a runner, originally from the UK, but now I live in Florida and I'm also a YouTuber. I'm kind of a running YouTuber, right? Just like Chris. I've lived in Florida now for about 20 years and I'm just realizing it that with all travel and everything that I did as a young man, I've actually lived in Florida longer than I've lived anywhere else. So I suppose technically I'm a Floridian now, although I don't sound like one. But I don't really sound British anymore because my accent's a bit messed up. Anyway, thanks for tagging along. Why don't you check out some of the gorgeous Lakewood Ranch.
Thanks for that, Matt. His channel has everything from reviews to great tips and advice. Just bought himself a spinning bike and of course lots and lots of running. So let's crack on with the questions. So Matt, when did you start running?
When did I start running? Well, when I was younger, living in the UK, I was always into fitness, but I think now that it was a different idea of fitness than what I have now. Just going out and being active, I thought was enough. So a lot of years passed, I turned 25 and I decided to start running and I entered in some 5Ks. I was living in Florida at the time, so there were 5Ks on the beach and those were always a lot of fun. A couple of years passed and I'm doing shorter distance stuff. I decided to up my distance to a half marathon. On the day of my half marathon, my first half marathon, I met my wife. Of course, she beat me. Meeting her was kind of the push I needed to really get into running because at the time she was a very good marathoner. I actually asked her out on the day of her first 3-hour marathon. So yeah, she was speedy. At that time I wasn't running those kind of speeds, so I was pretty impressed, as you can imagine. So I suppose I'd say that I really started running around 27 and I'm 42 right now. Since that time I've found that I like the longer distances a lot more than the shorter distances. Okay, Chris, what's your next question? I am going to finish my run and I will answer the next one as soon as I'm done.
It's a great story, Matt. So what keeps you motivated to train now?
Okay, back from my run. That is a great question and it's something that I really like to think about. I know a lot of people like to say that races keep them motivated, but for me that's not really the case, especially in the summertime in Florida because that's our off season. So what keeps me going out there day after day to go for my run, even though it's crazy hot, super uncomfortable, and it's got to come down to just the love of running, the passion. I do enjoy the thought of getting ready to go out for my run. I enjoy the run itself most of the time. Now, of course, in the winter time here, it gets to be a little more comfortable and races are on my calendar. And yeah, when I've got a race scheduled, then that gives me a kick in the butt and I can get out there and do it. But otherwise, it's generally the passion. I like going out and just logging miles. There's also you guys, okay? There's also the people that follow me on Strava. There's the people that I follow on Strava. There's the people that tune into my channel to see me run, to see me doing running stuff, to see me talking about running. You people out there, my audience, and the people that I interact with, you hold me accountable, and that is a form of motivation in itself. Okay, one last thing. Take that hat off. Ooh, that's better. Head's a lot cooler now. Okay, one last thing. One last thing that keeps me motivated, and you know, there's going to be people that look down on me for this, but there is a compulsion. I've been running for a long time now, and I do feel that drive to get out there. When I'm not running, I am thinking about my next run. And even if I'm not feeling like it, I do know that I'm going to feel better after the fact. And that really helps push me out the door, even if I'm not really feeling it.
I'd have to agree on that. it does become a part of your life. So what's your favourite distance to run?
Sorry, listen, Chris, I know I answered this question a little bit in my introduction, but my favorite distance to run by far is the marathon. I love that distance. I think it's a solid mix of endurance and speed. And listen, I don't care what level you're at or what pace you're running a marathon, it's hard. Okay, if you are running at maximal effort for 26.2 miles or 42.2 kilometers, it's hard. It's not going to be easy. So yeah, that distance, that just pulls something out of me that that I really value more than the run. It's every time I do a marathon, it's like climbing a mountain. It's like achieving something that is, you know, you're on the edge. You're kind of towing the line of not being able to do it, and yet when you do it, you have that amazing sense of accomplishment. That's how I feel about the marathon. Now, trail running, listen, I'd say the road marathon is my favorite, but for trail running, I do like going a little longer, and trail marathons are not as popular. So if I was on the trails, I'd say a 50K trail run is probably my favorite. And you know what? Trail running, if I could run on trails every day, I would, but there aren't many trails around where I live. But you know, a couple times a year, I get to enter a 50K trail run, and I really do enjoy those times.
That makes my favourite distance, 10K, to seem like a warm-up. So what are your running goals and plans for the future?
Oh, you caught me at a bad time for talking about my running goals and future plans, because as I said, summertime in Florida is our off season, and the heat is so oppressive that it's really hard to do a fast forward, to think about what you're going to do in the upcoming months. But saying that, I'm still going to tell you. I think long-term plan, I probably have another couple 100-mile races in me. At this point, that is probably the only distance that I am motivated enough to try and go for a PR in. I think I have passed my marathon racing prime as far as speed goes, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. I PR'd in the marathon in my mid-30s, so about 8 years ago now, I think, was my marathon PR. Once we start getting towards the end of the year, then the races in Florida start opening up, and there is a trail marathon that I do every year. That's at the Alafaya State Park. Of course, I'm sure probably not many of you know where that is, but it doesn't matter. It's at the Alafaya State Park, and I do that every year. I would say that's my favorite race of the season, and it's just nice, kind of small rolling hills, sandy trails, not too challenging, but challenging enough. And the heat can still be an issue in early November. Oh, and I am pretty sure I am going to have qualified for the Boston Marathon in 2021, so I'm still considering that. I did beat my qualifying time by about 10 minutes, so I should get in, but it seems like the qualifying times get dropped further and further down, so even though I beat the time by 10 minutes, it's not a sure thing. We'll see.
Wow, 100 miles. The furthest I've ever run is 15. That is amazing. Matt's got to quickly go home now because the kid wants his cat back. So Matt, the final question. If you was to give one piece of advice to new runners, what would it be?
One piece of advice that I would give to new runners is to avoid the terrible twos. Too much, too soon, too fast, too hard, too long. Basically, moderation is your friend, and that will keep you from being injured. It's very easy for new runners to get caught up in the hype, caught up in the thrill of becoming fit, because those fitness gains come really quick in the beginning. But if you do too much too soon, too much speed work, running too hard too often, you will become injured. So avoid that and you will be good to go.
That's great advice, because to be honest, I fell into that trap at the start of my running career, so I was pretty much injured all the time. Thanks Matt, enjoyed that. I'll speak to you soon.
Chris, you are very welcome, my man. Thank you for having me on your channel. I really appreciate being here. You really put out a great product, and all your followers are really lucky to have you.
I hope you enjoyed this new series. Let me know by giving me a thumbs up, and also go and check out Matt's channel. He's a really great guy, got some fantastic videos. Put a link to his channel up there and down in the description, and then I put one at the end of this video. So please go and subscribe to him. As I say, he's a really nice guy, got some great tips, and always gets back to you if you've got any questions. So as always, thanks for watching. I'll speak to you soon. Cheers.